Hello, I'm Babu, and this is my Cse355 Phase 3 presentation. The way I came up with this project idea is I'm currently working at the Polytech Sustainability Solar Lab, and they needed an app which keeps track of all the tools which are in the lab. And we have multiple labs across the US. We have about 6 facilities all around the US. So it's very hard to keep track of all the tools and all the other solar panels and all of that we have. So what this app's going to do is it's going to keep track of everything. And the other thing it does is it gets the real weather update for wherever the tool is located. So if the tool is located in North Carolina, they can go and check the weather on it, and then they'll be able to see if it's sunny there, if it's windy, if it's humid, or whatever is happening. And it's also nice because anytime they take a picture of the tool, what will happen is it will store the location, so we know exactly where it's located. This is the class diagram, and from here we can see that we have the view controller, and then from there we have the add view controller. In here is where I store the image of the tool, a description of the tool, of what it does, the name of the tool, and then all of this will go to the tool model, which will also have the latitude and longitude of where the tool is located. So wherever the picture is taken from a gallery, or if it's a real-time picture, the latitude longitude will be stored inside of it, and they will be able to retrieve it for later use, such as in the detail view. And then if we go on, we'll see the tool management view controller. In here we can see that this is where I have the table view. So this is a table view which is alphabetized, so it goes from A through Z, and the tools are in order. The tools will have the title of the tool in it, and then from there, if they decide to click on the tool, what will happen is it will take them to the detail view, which will show what the name of the tool is. Again, the image of the tool, this time more bigger. It will also show the description of the tool, and then there will be a button for a map. The map, if they decide to click on that, it will take them to the map view controller, which will show where the tool is located. And in there, the map view controller, we have three different images. We have the satellite view, we have the hybrid, and we have just the regular one. And that's the class diagram. Here we have the MVC diagram, and the way this works is the model is able to interact with control, and view is able to interact with controller, but model and view are not able to interact with each other. And the reason for this is for security reasons and to keep the app more secure. And if we want to do future work or expand on it, it'll be easier that way, as we're not messing with the view. From here we can see that I have tools, and tools is a model. So what tools does is it has all of the name of the tool, it has the detail, it has the latitude, longitude, it stores all of that information in the tools. And then from there we can see that all of that is being stored into the core data. And it also stores the picture of the tool. And it interacts with the open weather map. And then if we go into controller, we can see that that's where it's handling all the add, the save of the tools, and it's also retrieving the tools from the model. So all the core data which is there is being retrieved from the controller, and things like the pin for maps are also being retrieved from model. It also handles retrieving of description, It handles the populating of the table view, which is again from the core data. The controller also calls the OpenMap API, and it also sends the API call. And then if we go to view, in view we can see that that's where we're displaying all the information. So we're going to be displaying the list of tools in the table view. We're going to be displaying the pins in the map of where the tools are located, show the map. We're going to show the hybrid map. We're going to show the standard one. We're also going to display the picture of the tools there. And then if we go on to user actions for view to controller, we can see that we do gestures such as tab, we do scroll for the table view, we do sliding of the table view, which can in turn delete it, and that's how we interact with it. And then for user update for controller to view, we see that we update the table view controller, we update the detail view controller, we also update the standard hybrid map. If we decide to change between them, we need to update the pins and update the address. So that's how that's being done. And for controller to model, what we're doing is we're saving the tool information, saving latitude, longitude, submitting the location of it. And for notification, we're notifying if it's been added or if it has not been added. For capabilities, this is the add tools view, and from here we can see that we have a place for a camera or a gallery. So they can either take a picture of it from before, or they can, if the tool is located in North Carolina or in Texas, someone can take a picture of the tool and then send it over, and the only thing they'll be doing is they'll be putting it into here, and then that's how it'll work. Or we can use the camera feature to go and take a picture of it. We can give a short description of it, and we can also name it, and then that way we're able to add it into the tool model, which is the core data. This is the tools manager. Here's where we list out all of the tools. We have it in A through Z order, and they're all in alphabetized. So it's nice and easy for students to see which tool they want to search, and then they can in turn go into more detail on it. This is the detail view, and from here we can see that we have the title of the tool, we have the picture of the tool, we have the description, we have the current weather of it, we have the humidity, and we have the wind speed of what's happening at the location of the tool. So this is very important because since we're working with a lot of weather and how weather impacts the modules and so forth, these three information are very key, and this will help when a student needs to go out and check if this is the correct time to go and retrieve the data, or if they need to do other things. This is an easy way for them to see. And then if they click on the locate of tool button, it will take them to the map, which will in turn show the location of the tool. So in case they're a new student and they're not sure where the tool is located, they're in turn able to go and know where the tool is. The limitations of this are, I was originally making this app as a retrieval of tools, where if someone takes so the tools will all be inside of core data, and if someone takes a picture of the tool that they want to take out, or if they want to use, what they would do is they would take a picture of it, and then this in turn will send the information over to a Google Sheets or a Google Excel, which will keep track of what tool a student has used and what the time that they checked it out or checked it in for. in this way that the lab supervisors are able to keep track of who's using what tool and what tools are being taken. But unfortunately, after spending several days and even going to the TA's office to try and get this fixed, I was not able to get the Google Sheet API key. I was able to send the data successfully, but since I didn't have the correct authentication, I was not able to get a response from the server, and in turn, I wasn't able to do it. And the other limitation is if someone wants to write a really long description of the tool, they're not able to do it as the search or as the label is somehow, for some reason, not properly showing it. It cuts it off. And another one is not being able to search for the tool in the map view. Lessons learned is I learned what I was doing wrong for the Google Sheet API key, as I went to the TA's office, and then he was explaining to me how the API or how the server and the key work, and then I learned a lot about that. I learned about Google, I learned about API, and I learned about parsing JSON and how that worked. I learned about core data, and I learned about segueing. I learned about segmented table views, so a table which has from A through Z plus core data in it, which was actually pretty hard for me to implement because I noticed that whenever I put in some information, I needed to do an asynchronous call and make sure it was being sent before it refreshed, and I learned about asynchronous and synchronous calls that way. Suggestions for future class is I'd like to really learn more about the game aspect of it, as we didn't touch that much into it except the last class, and I thought it was really cool how one of the TAs made that meteorite game, and that looked really interesting, and I would love to do more exciting games like that. I also would like to learn more about security aspect of it, because I know that iOS is supposed to be more safer than Microsoft, and I'd really like to learn what kind of good coding and good structures we should be using to make our apps more secure. I'd also like to go more in depth in API and how tokens and authentication with tokens would work, because as said previously, I had a hard time with Google Sheets API and the authentication part. I did not have so much trouble in the sending the data, but I had trouble with authentication. So it would be really useful for other students if we went more in depth into that.